Hey everybody, welcome back. What's up, boys? Thanks for the t-shirt. Today's video, this is like the number one problem with Pioneers in general. If you buy a Pioneer, if you own Pioneers, you'll probably run into this issue. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love my Pioneers, but this happens all the time. That's my P51. I just picked that up a month ago, probably. I pulled it out of the box, I fueled it, it fired right up, no issues. It ran good, it idled. I ran it a couple more times before I brought it to bucket stock, and I brought it, 1,500 miles or 1,100 miles one way, and we pulled it out the one day because, well, a lot of you guys were saying, I've never seen a Pioneer, let alone seen one run. And I said, well, that's why I brought it. These things are absolute nutso. Pound for pound, they're one of the strongest saws ever made. Pulled that thing out of the truck, barred it up, went to start it, nothing, friends. I broke the recoil, which happens all the time on these things. Old chainsaws in general. The rope seemed good until it wasn't. I should have replaced it. Shame on me. Put the rope back together and I broke the recoil again. But that's not the number one problem with Pioneers. The number one problem is they lose spark. Every Pioneer I've ever owned has had spark-related issues. So in today's video, let's rewind the recoil and let's see if we can get it running. Okay, here's my P51. Now, I don't want to shy you guys away from these things. They are glorious. My P61, that was the saw I was actually going to bring to bucket stock. Because I thought, I bet you there'll be some big Eastern hardwood there. And we can really show this thing off. But because I just bought this thing, this is an 82cc power saw. It is glorious. These are a little heavy, but I mean, they're nuts. Now, friends, I've never put this in the wood yet. And if you can hear in the background, my daughter is going to be 3, and she's at the world is not fair stage, as I'm learning. I've never been around children, friends, so I kind of understand them now. But yeah, she's going through it. Those of you out there that have children probably know what I'm talking about. Love her. She is, well, she's me and my wife in one. She lives life to the fullest. Now, getting back to this here power saw. These things are glorious. They run good. They're just strong saws. Tend to be a little weak at the starter. We broke the rope. There you go. I don't know if I have a coil for this, friends, so this might be, well, this saw may be a lame duck for a bit. But I'm going to say something to you guys right now. If you're looking at the saw, before we do the recoil, the number one problem with these, maybe I'll undo it and we'll see. Actually, let's keep going here. You see this wire here? It goes through here and up and around. Now, I have seen these. I'm just going to pull the top cover off because I want you guys to get the full. These are super easy to work on, super easy to take apart and build. Oh, I was going to say, I don't know what I did with my recoil handle. Earlier on me, really took care of right now me. Look, friends, you're right at the carburetor. Now, what ends up happening with these is this kill wire often grounds out. Now, you can unplug it, which I did at the show. Clearly I did, because it's unplugged. But what ends up happening, friends, is this wire, even though you unplug it, they tend to ground out right here, okay? And I'm telling you that because I want you guys to enjoy these. I'm not one of those guys that's like, I really like Model X saw. I'm not going to tell anybody about them. Because, friends, I know one thing. I've learned this. Nobody wanted home lights. And then I started building home lights on my channel. And it got to the point I couldn't find one to save my life. So, well, these are okay. So, these are great saws. They're definitely regional, meaning they're not everywhere. Oh, I just lost that. Well, that's not good, is it? I can hear it. The question is, did it go behind this here? flywheel. I think it did, friends. Well, that's not going to be good for business. That's okay. Well, and then that piece came off. Now, friends, just looking here, often this wire gets kinked. Right here, it's rubbed through. Just looking at it. Making sure there's no, it's good. So, here, you can even pull this back. There may actually be an issue with this. Now, I'm gonna pause you guys here and see if I can get the parts out of this thing, because I literally just dropped them both behind the flywheel. Okay, and I had luck. I got that cover off. Here it is. And right here, little screw. I got lucky. I thought maybe she stuck to the back. So again, friends, always check this wire. They're often broken. Make sure they're hooked up. Now this thing had good spark. The flywheel's pretty dirty on this thing, and so's the coil, so we may have to go that route, which we can do after, but we can't do much with this thing unless we rewind the coil. I'm gonna stick this wire back in here. Where did she go? Like this, right? Something like that. Again, super easy to work on. But I've had this problem so many times with this wire that I always check that first before I go panicking. These coils are hard to find. I do have some NOS ones still that I bought, and I paid not dearly, but I spent a lot of money buying a bunch of parts I'll never use to get a couple of coils that I knew I would use. Okay, so let's put this on here, this cover. This saw's fairly clean. Often these things are pretty scungy by the time I get my hands on them. I feel like I put this wire back in wrong. I feel like there's more wire than there should be here, but... oh no, there we go. Okay, that goes there. This cover goes down there. Again, that cover fits fairly snug over the wiring. Sorry, I'm in front of you guys here. So just be aware of that. A magnetic screwdriver really helps putting this back together too, because friends, remember, I don't know, you guys probably don't remember, but I warranted my 25-year-old snap-on screwdriver, and I had this thing for like a month, and then it was gone, and I couldn't find it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had the same screwdriver for 25 years, and then I get a brand new one, and I lose it. It was in the cab of my skid steer. I guess I had it in my pocket in the dark one night, and it fell. And that's where it sat until I dug it out. So, funny story. Okay, so let's take this apart. And friends, this probably won't take too long. I may edit this a bit, just in the name of time. Okay, now this thing's already unwound itself, but be careful. We were laughing at Bucket Stock. There it was. It was jammed and wound, and I was like, I don't want to fling-ling this spring here. Try not to fling-ling those. If you do, well, pack a lunch, because you're going to be at it for a while. At least I am. Now, here's the funny thing, friends. Literally, the top of the rope broke off, not the bottom. Look. Okay, we're getting rid of this old rope though. Okay, and these go like this. The rope goes through there. Okay, you just thread it through. I'm going to grab some new pull rope. Okay, I need to grab a lighter so I can melt the end. Okay, I'm going to grab this lighter. I'm shooting this on my new fancy camera, not my phone. Let me know how it looks, friends. This is my first time shooting just like a regular video with this camera. And, okay. So let me know, friends. I'm always trying to make my videos better. Figure 8 knot. Right here, see? Pull it through. That's like your legit recoil knot. Okay, and I'm just going to grab these, my side cutters here. I'm going to pull the bejesus out of this thing. And then I always melt it. I used to hate doing recoils. It's windy out, friends, but it's hot out. My gosh, we've been in a heat wave pretty much since I got back from Indiana, and it was hot there too. It's we got a heat warning. Oh, super. We get high humidity here, friends. So it's very, believe it or not, it's very similar to south. I'm gonna just give her an arm's length. Okay, I'll cut her off here. She's probably a little too long, but that's okay. I buy my rope by the roll because I go through enough of it. I don't know, I started buying things in bulk years ago because I realized that I'm not a full-time shop. That's another thing, friends. I've had a ton of emails from folks that want me to do builds for them. I really appreciate it. Still, though, I do not take builds. I know that sounds crazy to people. I don't take work other than I've done work for literally the same guys for 6 years. I have a couple of guys I build for, and that's it. I've built for a couple, I've built for a local buddy, etc., but it's like, I don't take builds, friends. And the reason for that is, I just do not have time. I don't want to make this a job. I really enjoy YouTubing. I enjoy sharing things with you guys. And I want to keep this fun because I tend to go all out into things. Like, whatever, friends. If I was going to start building diesel trucks, I would build a nutso diesel truck and I would start building trucks. And in 2 to 3 years, I would be completely tired of it because I made it a job. And I would get out of that and into something else. That's the way my life has always been. I go from zero to hero. I'll read everything there is on a subject. That's just how it is. I didn't want to do that with this. I really enjoy playing with saws. So what I'm saying is, friends, is thank you to everybody that's reached out. But I never really have taken builds. I may do a build or two for Sizemore, but usually what I do, friends, when I do a build for somebody, they don't send me their saw. I will just buy a saw for them, and then I just build it and send it to them at my leisure. Okay, it says 3 turns, so we're just going to get a little tension on the spring. 1, 2, 3. Okay, friends? Wind that like that. And then let go of it. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the 3 turns because, well, this saw is old, and I think the 3-turn system is not happening on it. So what I'll do is, you see I just turn it there. I'm going to grab it again into that little notch. Okay, and I'm going to go 2 more turns. Do this at your own risk. These old saws, sometimes you can break recoil springs if you overwind it. Okay, and I just overwound it there. I'm trying to see, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trying to see how much rope this thing will hold. Okay, friends, now all I'm going to do is let go. I want this thing as full as it can get without being too full. Okay, so we're going right there. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is grab my recoil handle. I should have grabbed a pair. Usually I'll grab a pair of locking pliers and I'll just lock it on there, but that's fine. We can just melt the edge. I'm holding it with my fingers so I know about where I want the recoil handle to go. Again, there's probably other ways to do this. There's other ways to do everything that I do on my channel. This is just how I do it. And if you do it differently, I'm okay with that. We all, as men, we all tend to do things differently, and it's funny, I'll be doing something and someone will say, that's not the only way to do that. And it's like, yeah, no, there's probably a better way. I'm not a pro at fixing saws, friends. Okay, so I just put a loose knot on there. Right? We don't have quite enough tension there. But what I'm getting at, friends, is you do you, I'll do me. We can all get along. And at the end of the day, we can all have a beer. Whether it be non-alcoholic or alcoholic or whatever you want to drink. I'm good with that too. I don't drink much, friends. I like to drink. I just, I guess I'm good at it. So, yeah, people are always saying, if I ever run into, I'll buy you a beer. Coffee would be good. I drink a lot of coffee. Not so much in the beer department. I had one of those Corona Zeros. It was actually super tasty. I had no idea. Okay, friends, I'm not putting the cover on this because I don't feel like it. If you want to cover yours. Okay, and I just melt the end. Okay, we got a recoil. Now, friends, I'm going to switch from this camera to my regular camera because this one's running on a juice. Let's put this back on the saw and see if we can get this thing running. Okay, we're back to the old school camera. I don't know if it's any better or worse. It's a Samsung S25 Ultra. It's the top of the line. Okay, now we got a recoil. So again, guys, pull it through the slot. They all have one. Wind it. Put your knot on there and let go. Done. That's all recoils. Try not to fling-ling the spring, because if you fling-ling the spring, I should do a video sometime on how I wind a fling-linged spring. Say that 3 times fast. Okay, let's put this thing back on here. And actually, the way I do it, friends, I'll put 4 screws into the top of my workbench, and I'll wind it around that in between them. I put them on the outside, and then I'll use a piece of safety wire, and I'll literally wire it. Is this the right one? Yeah, it is. I'm missing a screw for the recoil on this thing too. Yeah, I'll safety wire it, and then I'll just cut the wire. Okay, we got 3 screws here. I'm gonna pause you guys because again, that's like watching paint dry. 3 screws. Okay, and we got a recoil. This thing has a decomp. Let's make sure there's fuel in here. The cap's kind of loose, so I usually don't. Yeah, she's full right to the top. I've had problems with these caps swelling, especially if you have ethanol in your fuel, which I think all of our fuel does. I try not to keep them too tight, because they will swell and they will get stuck and then they break coming out. I've had that happen numerous times. Okay, let's pull our choke here. This has a governed carburetor. Okay, let's pull a choke. Now, this saw was firing like right away. Let's give it a couple of prime. Okay. We're on full choke. No decomp because, well, let's put the decomp on. Okay, friends, I should be able to pull it over here. And we broke the recoil again, friends. But here's the funny thing. This thing would not fire to save its life in Indiana. So I have no clue what's going on with this saw. I got to pull the recoil off again, friends. I don't know why that rope broke. Give me a second here. Three screws. One of my favorite guys works on Harleys, and he always says, "How convenient." 3 screws. How convenient. And somebody didn't put the cover in this piece. You think I'd know that by now, friends? How long have I been doing this? How many saws have I worked on? You think I'd know to put the doohickey in the end so that you don't pull the rope through the rubber handle, which this saw has. Okay, friends, I gotta fix this. I'll pause it again. Okay, I got it through. Here's the handle doohickey. This rope's gonna be, these things don't hold a ton of rope, so I'm gonna rewind this the way it is. It's probably gonna be a little short, but this saw starts so nice when it starts. And this is what I'm getting at, friends. Old saws, the real old ones, for me, I usually don't run them in the bush unless I've gone through them. This reaffirms my thoughts. Rarely, I can't believe I even brought this saw, friends. My gut told me to bring it, my brain told me to bring it, but honestly, I pretty much had a feeling that there was going to be something wrong with this saw because I haven't gone through it. Like this horrible spongy fuel line. But I thought to myself, I'm going to an event, there's going to be 200 people standing around and wanting to watch me run a saw. What could happen? That's when everything happens. It is so funny. You can have the saw that you run daily. You put it in front of a group of people. If there's going to be a problem, that's when you'll have the problem. Okay, I'm going to do the tightest little figure 8 knot. I don't even think you guys could see what I was just doing there. Here, let's get you right in here. Sorry, friends. If this is edited funny, it's because I was too busy yapping and not busy enough filming. Okay, let's give her a little bit of the good stuff here. Boom. I don't think this is coming off. And now we got this cover here. That's what happens when you change cameras mid-video. The other camera has a different field of view than this one. So, okay. 3 more convenient screws. And this thingamajiggy here. Pull her in, engage her in the dogs. There we go. 3 convenient, happy little screws. 1, 2, 3. I'll tighten them down. Will this thing fire? It fired. Will it actually run? Okay, will this thing run? Like I said, not a fire out of this thing. Nothing. Not a pop. The whole time I was in Indiana. I'll leave the choke on. Maybe we just flooded it. See? Now it won't fire again. Let's keep the choke on. Oh, this is so weird. Literally, you guys heard it. It just fired. And now it won't fire at all. Do we even have spark? This is what I'm saying here. I don't think it's the switch. Oh, okay, so unplug the switch. That's your next course of action. Pull the choke again. See, friends? So it fired 1 fire. Okay, I'm going to rip the recoil off and see if we can get this thing. Well, I don't think it has spark. This is the issue. Trying not to make this into a 40-minute video, but that might be the way we have to roll today. What I was looking for is this here. Johnny, thank you, buddy. You meet the nicest people at Buck and Stock. I've never been able to get my hands on one of these. And I don't need one, but I wanted one, like bad. I don't want many things in life, but this is definitely one of them. And Johnny comes up to me and he's like, here, you can have this one. I was like, really? You can't get those in my neck of the woods. Okay, this is a weird spark plug. I'm suspicious of it. I'm gonna pull this plug and put a proper plug in. Now, what I was gonna say earlier, first time in my life, okay, since I've been working on saws, I've been playing with these things for, well, close to a decade now. Not as long as some, but longer than others. And, funny story. First time in my life, yeah, this is like, I don't think this is the right plug for this saw, friends. First time in my life have I ever had a spark plug like dead on arrival. At Buck and Stock. I bought 2 brand new. Hi, Charlie. It's my daughter, friends. First time ever in my life at Buck and Stock. I brought new plugs with me, so I thought, yeah, maybe somebody will need a plug. It's rare that I need one because I just replaced them. 2101, last day, last cut. Sizemore goes to fuel it up. Saw won't restart. I thought we flooded it. It was 164 degrees. Left it. Well, friends, if any of you know me, I can't leave something alone. So that literally that night, I went to call home, didn't get an answer, and I was standing there, And I was like, I bet you I could unpack that 2101. So I unpacked it and I put a brand new NGK spark plug in it. I gapped it and threw it in there. And guess what? Saw started one pull. Spark plug that was in there, dead on arrival. Well, I think we have a no spark issue, which is weird because this thing fired. Let's wiggle this wire a little bit. Yeah, friends, we have no spark. Nothing. Nada. Let's try the other plug just for giggles. It's a brand new spark plug. Maybe that is the right one for this saw. BR6S? Maybe. I don't know. So this saw has spark, but it doesn't seem like a lot of spark. Okay, so well, let's take the coil off, re-gap it, clean it, and see what we get. Hey, look at that. My life is better now that I have a ratcheting scrunch, Johnny boy. I owe you one, man. Okay, well, let's just take her right off. Let's dive right in like we know what we're doing. Do we know? I just fake it till I make it, friends. A lot of you guys know a lot more than I do. Let's take this one off. So remember, that goes on the top. It's probably just a dirt issue, friends. But we shall soon see. I may even have, I think I have one of these coils that's brand new. Again, though, I don't want to use a new coil if I don't need a new coil. Oh, look, friends. Look how dirty this thing is. My gosh. Friends, I'll bet you we clean this up. We're going to do that right on camera so you guys know there's no trickery. I bet you we clean this right up and this saw runs like brand new. Okay, I'm going to grab a few things. Let's clean this up. Friends, you know what I should have bought when I was in America? Brake clean. I hear the new stuff is not good. Anybody in Canada know where I can get some legit brake clean still? Okay, this thing's been rubbed on. Yeah, I bought a case of 24 cans like 2 years ago, maybe. I use about a can a month, somewhere around there. Yeah, so this thing's rubbed the coil many times. But anyways, I'm running dangerously low. And, well, I can't live life without good brake clean. This stuff keeps me going. Okay, we're just going to wipe her off. Look at that. It looks a million times better already. The contacts don't even look dirty. Now, here's the funny thing on this, friends. Both of these contacts are worn like this thing was rubbing. I don't think I've ever experienced that. The other thing I'm checking for, so this thing is slightly delaminated, which would mean it's not happy when it's moist out. It is very humid out right now, so this coil might be no good, but let's give her a try. Yeah, I think that's going to be a problem, friends, right there. Look. Is that how these are? I don't know. I really don't know. That's the thing. I don't. I'm we'll gap her with a piece of cardboard, random cardboard that I just yeah, that should be about right. Let's put this back on, see if we can get her to spark. These contacts are nice and clean. Again, if they're corroded, hit them with some Scotch-Brite or whatever you got. And I'll put you guys right here. This saw needs a good cleaning for sure, but we'll one thing at a time. Let's make sure she's a runner before we get too carried away cleaning her, right? That's kind of my thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong, but hope I'm not blocking you guys. Okay, one screw here. Pretty sure I have a coil for this, friends. Like 98% sure, so I'm not super stressed about it. This is probably the same coil as a 61. P61, that is. And I know I have one of those. And I'm pretty sure I have two of these in boxes, brand new. We used one on that partner that we just built. So I could always rob the one off there, because that saw is, well, it's got issues. Tin Man created issues. That happens sometimes. I still have 2 brand new cylinders though, but I thought I'm going to take a little break because I need to reconvene. I'm surprised those rings caught that boost port, because that boost port's about the size of an open transfer port. And an open transfer port generally wouldn't be chamfered in a factory cylinder and wouldn't catch if it was that size. That boost port's only, you know, it's nothing. So I'm a little weirded out as to why that saw is eating the ring. Yeah, I feel like, well, I guess how I feel and whether this will work might be 2 different things, friends. But, well, sorry, I keep putting my hand in front of you guys. Okay, I'm guessing this thing will fire now. I'm going to be cognizant, though, of the fact that the coil may be Kaputski, because this thing, wow, I think I put the wrong screw in the coil for this thing, which is weird because they should all be the same thread. This makes no sense to me. There we go. Okay, I'm going to pause you guys here because I'm sure you don't want to see this much more. Okay, let's check this thing for spark again. I don't know if this is the right plug, but... Okay. No, this one's not firing in here, and I'm not sure why. So let's put the one that was in here back in. Remember, we had some spark, but not much. Yeah, it seems better. Let's see if this thing's going to start now. Again, at least we know the laminations on the coil are starting to let go. By laminations, I just mean where the 2 halves are glued together. That was a problem. Homelites use the same, I think those are Presto-Lite coils, the blue ones. Homelight used the same kind of coil and they had the same problems. You can bake them in an oven. Whether that'll work or not on this one. I've done it on Homelites and it works. So, okay, friends, ready? This is very strange. We have spark, but this thing won't start. I'm going to put this plug back in. Again, did this thing not fire the first time I pulled it over? I'm pretty sure it did. But perhaps, friends, this coil is just not giving us enough spark. Okay. Decomp. Choke. We know this thing's not flooded. This is odd. Pull it over faster. Well, I don't know, friends. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but we'll upload it because I know some of you guys like this ultra long form stuff. I do. I'd rather watch a 30 or 40 minute video than a 5-minute video, but that's just me. I've been looking at diesel trucks, friends, not because I want to get rid of this one, but this one needs body work and I don't want to leave it anymore. I want to get it done, but I need a truck, so I don't understand, friends, why this thing's not working. It has tons of blue spark. See if I can get you guys the spark on video. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'm going to zoom you guys right in. Okay, look at this. Woohoo! So, question is, why is this thing not firing? This I do not know. Why is it not firing with this plug? Because this is a resistor plug, isn't it? And these ignitions don't like these kinds of plugs, I think. 100% it's not. Oh, yes it is. Okay, just for fun, friends, I'm going to open this up a little bit more. I'm going to try this new plug in this power saw. I don't know what to say. It's strange. I got good hot spark, but it's definitely an ignition issue, I think, because that's probably a little too much. It wouldn't fire. So. Now it has no spark again, so maybe it's got a backwards switch. No. Yeah, I'm not sure, friends. I guess if this thing doesn't start right now, I'll fish out a coil and I'll mount the coil in here, which will be the same procedure as we just did, but with a new coil. And I'll see if this thing will start. I think it's just a weak spark or an intermittent spark. Okay. Interesting. You guys think this thing's gonna start now? Well, let's find out. Here, friends. Hey, look, all my boxes. Well, again, friends, 2 new spark plugs, 2 running saws. The 20101 did the same thing. Like, this thing's glorious, friends. Look at this thing start. Everything works on this saw. I'll take it. I guess I'll just keep an eye on it, friends. I think it was probably that spark plug. Anyhow, trials and tribulations of a power saw. I don't know. I'll definitely, next time I'm doing yard work, I'm going to run this saw and just do my yard work with it and see how it behaves. Anyhow, friends, often the simplest answer is the right one. Change your spark plug. I don't know if this is the right plug, but I mean, it's a BR6S. Seems a little big for this saw. An old power saw maybe, but who knows, friends? I could be completely wrong. Anyhow, I'll keep an eye on this thing. Thanks for watching. Take her easy, and I'll see you guys in a couple days. Later.